What makes a chef so innovative is that unlike a cook that's following a recipe, a chef creates the recipe. And what do they start from? They start from ingredients. And starting from ingredients is basically first principles thinking, or what I call build from basic truths. With this type of thinking is different than our traditional way of thinking, because the traditional way of thinking is to think from what you know already. But with first principles or build from basic truths, you're questioning the assumptions that you have. And then when you question those assumptions, you try to break down to what the true basic truths are, the real truths. And from there, like ingredients, you can create new ideas. So you begin to build up the possibilities from the basic truths. So take Shazam, for example. At the time I came up with the idea for Shazam, I had a problem. I would hear songs in my daily life, like many of us do, and then I would wonder what they were sometimes. And I would ask someone, I would say, can you tell me what that song is? And I'd write it down onto a list that I kept of my favorite songs. And then if enough time went by and I had a full list of songs, I might even make a mixtape from those songs. So that was the first problem. But you have to also remember that this is the year 2000. Who here had this phone? Yeah, it was a great phone. And at the time, didn't we all think it was such an amazing phone? We're like, this is the best phone. But I was thinking, gosh, this phone, there's really only two things that people do with phones. They make phone calls and they send text messages. There's got to be something else we can do with these phones. I mean, we're carrying them everywhere we go. And that was the second problem. And so I combined those two ideas, wanting to know what a song was, and then wanting to do something with a mobile phone. And that led to the original idea for Shazam, which would have been, what's that song on the radio? Because that's what technologies could do. But then I thought, if I did create this service where you find out what's playing on the radio by leveraging the technologies that existed and combining them with a mobile phone, what could someone do that would leapfrog me and make me completely irrelevant as a business? And that was the true aha moment of Shazam. Because the true aha moment of Shazam was not, oh, what's that song? And it wasn't, what's that song on a mobile phone? It was actually, what if you could identify the song from the sound in thin air? That was the aha moment for Shazam. And that's what I decided to embark on with my co-founders. So the traditional thinking would have been, let's just work from what we know, which is we have radio recognition. And traditional thinking, the reason we do it by default is because our minds are wired to do that. It's efficient if we think from what we know. And it's exhausting to question every assumption. But the reality is that if you broke down to the basic truths and you question the assumption that you have to know what's playing on the radio in order to provide a music identification service, when you question that, the two basic truths were that a mobile phone has a microphone and that music is sound. Those are truths. They're not assumptions. And that led to this breakthrough idea.